Okay, everybody. First of all, start by thanking everybody for being here. To honor my, um, I'm going to put glasses on because I think you were my eating and you were the So, very, that is this. So, we're here to honor a woman that I call a warrior. My mother was a fighter, a strong Latina woman that raised my sister and I the same way. We tried to be strong for her, and we tried. My mother wasn't the person that would give you advice. She would give you her opinion. And it was up to you if you wanted to take it or not. Most of it we did. My sister a little more than me. But she was amazing. My mom was born in Negron, Puerto Rico, and she was born on January 30th, 1928. And then she had another birthday on April 30th, 1928. Puerto Rico, we gave you 2 birth certificates. So my mother was very lucky that my sister would celebrate her January birthday and I would celebrate her April birthday. And she loved it. So she had more cake. So my mom had 3 children, which was my brother who passed away, my sister, and myself. I was the youngest. My mom came from New York, from Puerto Rico in the 19th. She came to make a better life for herself and for her children. At that time, she went to school immediately to learn English and learned the English language first. And in her mind was, I'm gonna get it, but I deserve it. And so she never stopped progressing. Life for her was doing something every minute of every day. All the way from factory work to secretarial to beauty school, all the way while going to nursing, where she became a nurse. My mom was strong-willed and very determined to give us the life, and so that we do not struggle. We didn't only for nothing. My parents were the best. We had the best clothes, we had always ate, we had everything that you could imagine. We also had discipline. And the discipline would be a lesson. According to my mom, you get nothing for free. So we weren't entitled, and we were getting everything that we wanted. But she always said, you hold on to your respect as a Latina woman. A Latina woman has to be educated, and a Latina woman has to show people that we don't come here to do nothing. And we do not walk around barefoot and pregnant. We are educated and we love our family. She always gave us, well, she told me, I was getting married. She said to me, I'm going to tell you something, and you're going to find it weird, but you need to honor your husband first. I said, Mom, what if I have children? She says, never mind. Your children, like I was the youngest, that's when getting married. She said, your children will get married, and you will turn around and recognize something that's standing next to you. It happened to her. It happened to her because she worked so hard. She went to school. She was always doing something that she forgot about my father. And so that was a lesson for her, and said, you will always love your children. And you make everyone in your household feel like nothing. But never forget your husband. He's the one that when they're gone, you're going to say, hey, we're retiring. Who the hell are you? You know, and that's what happened to her. So she told me that. That was her opinion too. But I took that one. So, so she mentioned that. My mom was in her senior year, she became very, very funny. Like everything was funny. We were brought up strict. She was very strict. She was very proper. I mean, we had etiquette classes in my house. And it wasn't like sit down and learn. No, my mother would set every night the place for dinner. And it was a big fork and a little fork and the knife and the spoon. And you know, we grew up that way. She wanted us that when we went out, we would know and sit at the dinner table and know what to do. And so she taught us that. She wanted us to be our best wherever we go and wherever we stand, because it would represent her. And so she was very strict and she was very strong with us, but she also gave us the respect that we deserve. And so when my sister and I meet other people and we go out, we not only give you respect, but we expect it, because that's how we were raised. My mom was the same way. You respect me, I'm Catalina. You know, and she walked around all 4 foot 10 inches tall. And anybody that knows her will know that. They will say, oh, yeah. So my mom always said, walk with your head up. It shows confidence. Walk with conviction. Shows power. And speak your truth. It shows that you know and you will get this. So, Mom, I did follow that. I'm still following it. And I will always keep your lessons in my head. And I think I've done a pretty good job with my children.
Yeah, you did.
Always, making them feel like they're number one, even though, you know, they have their little, I'm the baby, I'm the baby. Love you both. I have my cousins that are all watching online. One cousin in particular wanted you guys to know my mother's humor. My cousin Shirley and her husband got married and they bought a house in Yonkers. And so my mother was taken to their house as a tour. And so she's walking my mother around, and when they got to her bedroom, my cousin had a California king bed. And so my mother looked in the room and she goes, "What the hell do you guys think is that?" It's my mom, so, you know. Also, if you look over at where it says best nurse over there, we told the funeral director the story about my mom and her love for market. My mom just loved market. And one day, my sister and I decided to put a concert on television. She actually swore that she was in that concert because she sat there for about 2 hours and I said, "Mom, do you need to go to the restroom?" She goes, "He's singing." And I said, "Okay, fine, no problem." So some young lady threw a pair of pennies up in the stage for Mark Anthony. And I said, "Mom, look what that girl did." And she goes, "Oh, if I was there, I would have thrown in a box." 90-something years old. It's over there. There's box over there. Oh. So, thank you for your honesty, your love, your respect, and most important, thank you for all that you gave us in life. You will always be in our heart, and you will always and never be forgotten. You have a bunch of nieces here that love you just as much. You know, my mother was a family person, and my mother always said, "Your cousins are your siblings." And so I have a bunch of siblings here. You know, it was just me and my sister and I. But all our cousins, we grew up together. And that was one thing that, you know, she taught us as family that. And I will never change this family forever. And I'm hoping that when God takes all of us, we come back right to the same Rosado family. And we are in, because it's the best. So thank you for coming. Thank you. And then I'll give my children want to speak. And we're gonna go on all this together, so there's on 52 for now. And that's Ernest Carilla. That's my son.
So. My mom was everything. She operated me with my mom and my aunt since I was born. She celebrated my victories, everything I did wrong. I always wondered why she celebrated the things that I did wrong. It was because I did it for me, glorious to her. Something that once in a lifetime. I'm gonna miss her. Her.
And now Jonathan, let's.
First of all, thank you. Thank you for all of those joining us on live stream, from around the world. To honor my grandmother, Catalina Negron, and everything she's done for this family. She went by many names: Mom, Bibi, Martina, Mama, and Gigi for her great grandchildren. Despite her various names, her love for her family and friends remained unwavering. When thinking of one special moment to honor my grandmother, I couldn't narrow it down to just one. Instead, I looked upon the many photos and videos submitted by friends and family, and was reminded that no matter how much my grandmother had, she always made time to attend events for family and friends, because she believed in the importance of being there for the people who mattered most. My grandmother would do this, but she would live in our hearts and minds and memories that are forgotten. Thank you.
Now is my niece, Negron, and that's my sister's story.
Hey, everybody, thank you guys so much for coming. I didn't have anything prepared today because I wasn't sure if I was able to do this, but, I think probably the piece that sticks out about my niece is what Catalina said earlier, is that she's always progressing. I was fortunate enough to live with her during the end of my high school and all through my college years. And she took care of me and made sure that I attended school every day, that I was well fed, that I had hot chocolate with cheese and crackers every night before bed, that I watched Gossip with her. And what I didn't know until later on was that while I was in school, she decided to go back to school to learn computers. And I remember her coming to me and asking for help on how to turn on the computer and how to use the mouse. And it's one of those things where it's like, wow, you know, you're in your late 80s and it's just never too late to learn something. That's just the kind of person she was. It's never too late to learn something. And I would say the other piece about her that I loved so much was growing up, I didn't have the best influence of friends. But Mama was never judgmental out loud to them, but she was always so welcoming. And I remember one night, a friend of mine got into a lot of trouble. Came to my house in the middle of the night, looking for a place to hide, if you will. And she opened the door, and she let him stay, and she fed him, and he rested for 3 days straight, and I was mad. I was mad. I was like, why are you using me like this? Why are you in our house like this? And I was like, I didn't rest. There was something about resting. I remember her telling my mother, Mommy, Miriam, don't wake up Angel, let him rest, right? It was always something about resting. And she used to say, you can always tell that somebody loves somebody else if they let them rest. So now she's here for the eternal rest, and okay, sorry.
Okay. Maybe this is right, because, you know, my mother with this, oh, you got a rest. Gosh, the one that was really important is going in, going She was always feeding you, you had to eat all the time, my kids.
Pero qué bonita.
Oh, you know, it's like, yeah, you're a little chubby, but you need to eat. You know, and my kids, unfortunately, my mistake, I didn't teach them Spanish. So when they would go to New York and they would go back to Florida, they would say, hey, what did you learn? And they would go, oh, so, yeah. And so, last but not least, my sister, Miriam. Oh, if you all see, we have matching sweaters with my mom. Yeah, she always had me proper. Yeah. You're welcome. Hi, guys. First of all, I want to thank everyone for making the effort to come in, even driving far. I appreciate that. I really do, even taking a plane. We all appreciate that, and we all did that tomorrow, and we appreciate that. But anyway, you guys covered everything as far as her food. She was a great cook. Mom and I, we read each other's mind in the kitchen. She knew just what to do, and I knew just what to do, and we whipped up a meal. And everybody loved it. They all loved it. But the bad part was, that she would take the food away, and people were like, still in here, she's like to hurry up and wash those dishes. But I had a great childhood. Mom and Dad made us a wonderful moment when we were kids. I remember going to City College of New York, and I didn't know why I was there. And I was a little girl. You weren't even. I wasn't even born. You were a twinkle in your eye. So I went to the City College of New York, which was only up the block from where we lived. And I see Santa Claus. It was Christmas. I see Santa Claus, and I get excited. So she tells me, it's okay. You can stay here. You're going to see magic. You'll be okay. People are going to take you home. Sure enough, I had 2 big shopping bags of gifts. I was like, people got 1, they only got 1, but I got 2. I got home really happy, but who took me home? College kids. And they made me feel so welcome. And we walked through the snow. The snow was big. And we walked through the snow back home. And my biggest thing was that Christmas tree with the twinkles, and I would go under the tree. When she was little, we would both sit like this and watch the tree. And that's a lot. Yeah. I'm sorry. Anyway, her cooking says, I learned a lot. My mom taught me how to speak Spanish and read Spanish. How? She remember those little envelopes, those red, white, and blue envelopes that came, and it was small from the, nobody remembers. I wasn't even born. Yeah. They can, put in a mailbox, that was the communication. And they would come in from Puerto Rico, and I would have to read those letters. So not only did I learn Mommy was my biggest teacher, because she made me read, and she would help me pronounce whatever it is that I want. My mom was a big influence to me. I wanted to be like her, and I told her, Mommy, I would like to be like you, and I told her. I always used to tell her that. She was a smart, pretty, healthy woman. She was strict as hell. I remember her, she was going to give me a whipping. She took a 3-legged belt And she chased me around the table and around on the table. I got in and out and around and through. And she fought me. Well, according to today's child abuse. And I tell you, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be the woman I am today. I feel, I can. Sometimes it needs a little smack. And hers was a big smack. Even I didn't felt. And I would go into the bed. And then, I would have nightmares and I would run to her and she'd caress me. As a baby, I used to have a lot of earrings and I had a little rocking chair. And so she was so little that she was able to fit in that baby rocking chair and she would rock me on the seat. Those were moments that I can't forget because they were loving. It hit me. But Mommy was smart. Mommy went to school and I saw her as a child going to school for anything. I mean, I even went to school to, what is it called? Wilfred Academy. She went there and she learned how to cut hair. And she just did it because she wanted to, but the father and I would come over every Sunday and get her hair done. But then the good father was like, ooh, that is good. You know, she's practiced. Mommy also went to IBM to learn Chinese. And believe it or not, every time she went to school for something, she used it in her lifetime. When she became a nurse, she was able to type. She was able to speak English. And towards the end, Mom went back to her native language because of the dementia. And all she spoke was Spanish, she forgot. I had to speak English, few words. You know, oh, that reminds me of something I gotta tell you. Yeah, she also forgot how to cook. And how I noticed is she started burning little things, leaving her pee behind. So I said, no, you're coming with me. You know. So my daughter took her to Florida. I was in Florida since 2019. And that's, you know, I said, you know, Mom can't stay here by herself. So my daughter would come and see her, and my sister would constantly call because she's also in Florida. So one day she picked Mommy up and said, you're coming to, let's go visit Miriam. And so she did. Huh? Rosetta. Yeah, that's when their husband died. And she came to the birthday. So my daughter or her, and she says, we're going on vacation. To the very end, she thought she was on vacation. You know, to the very end. So Mom left us peacefully, and she's wonderful. I love my mom. And I told her that I'm going to be with her really soon. I want to know why you didn't take me to get Santa Claus gifts. Now I'm gonna have my cousins repeat after me, right? So, when one of your children or whatever say to you, bendición, what do you say? Your bendición. Okay, so my son Jonathan, he tried so hard to perfect that. Spanish, right? So they went not too long ago. They go visit my mom and he goes, bendición. And you know what my mother answered? God bless you. And Jonathan looks at me like, is that something wrong? She said, no, she realized that you didn't get it. That's. So, yeah, that's mom. Mom was a joker. You know, she loved a good time and funny.
She loved Mark Anthony. Oh my God, she loved Mark Anthony.
So, yeah, so we do thank every one of
Oh,
you
by
for
the way,
playing.
I want you all to remember something. She had her apartment in New York City, and the whole family lived there. So whenever somebody got sick, guess who they called?
The nurse.
Oh,
Yeah, he was telling me that when he was little, he busted his chin and Morgan ran to my mother's house. My mom took out a little butter pot. He said,
She was a great nurse, I'm sorry, she was wonderful.
and that's, you know, my cousin, you know, you have a partner in crime. You are. Oh, yeah. You care for her, they share foods up and down the stairs, they watch us sit out together. And, you know, we're trying to get my mom with one of us, and my mom told her, Nadia, if something happens to me, I'll just go, Nadia. And my mom used to say, well, how am I gonna hear you? I won't hear you. Oh, just New York City living. New York City living. That's good. Always. Yeah, so.
Everybody knows how fast it's getting out.
Yes. We all sang it.
And the thing was that she would see the repeats and it was like, you know, it was amazing. But I would sit there and watch it.
You didn't want to remember?
And then I had to do all of the religious stuff, you
Oh,
know,
it was Sunday, I'm
the
looking for masks
charity.
for her. Yeah.
Every single day, she would collect the cans from the grocery store to bring them to her. Her whole apartment, she used to have boxes of clothing everywhere, and then just invite people over to come and shop
Yeah.
in her apartment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Food.
The food.
It's always about food.
It's always about food.
Always.
You cannot go to bed hungry.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't want to, and it's not hungry. Yeah.
And one last thing I want to say, for my mom, you know, she, but my cousin Mitch, I say he's my cousin, but he's more like my brother. My mom had him when his mom came from Puerto Rico to be our nanny.
Your nanny, yeah.
Because at that time, my father had rheumatic fever and was hospitalized. And my mother went from one job to the hospital to another schooling. You know, her day was busy, so my nan, Benita, came to take care of us. And I was her favorite. Because I was the youngest and she was a seamstress and I had a new outfit sold every day.
Well, I couldn't stand when she did both of us at the same time. Now it's that I didn't want to be the same.
Now look at us. So anyway, that's it. So Mitch loved her mom and loved her very, very much. He was always looking out after her when she was in New York and would go and visit her. And she always had a soft spot for you because Mitch, we've been through so much. I mean, if we were so little, if all three of us slept in the same bed, and he was so tiny, and he would be in the middle. And me and my sister would be, oh, me, you know, he was so baby. And so, you know, he got raised, you know, spoiled by women, and that was my mother's point. My mother says, no matter where you are, you're a woman and show your strength because we can hold up a building.
I'm a crybaby, but it's okay, right? I'm
Oh, no, I guess you call me the bulldog.
because I was, coming up at school, I wasn't nice. I wasn't nice.
You mistreated. My sister and I were great. Thank you for coming, and we really appreciate everything. And we're going, my mom is flying out to Puerto Rico tomorrow. And then my sister and I will fly out on Sunday, and she will be buried on Monday together with my mom. It's in the National Cemetery. And we was waiting for her the day my mother passed. The next day would have been her 70th anniversary.
Honestly, I have dreams about that.
Oh, yeah, before that.
And then she would say, no, I'm not ready to go anywhere. I'm so sorry, but not today. So she wasn't ready. Yes. She lived 97 years, and that's a lot. That's Nails, like she likes it, yes. They're pretty, put the blanket. It's nice. It's cold, but I put the blanket. It's like that. Sister. You're good. Remember, I'm the older one, okay? Some kind of abuse here. I was taken to see Santa and given a lot of gifts. Oh, God. My sister, you know, she was the oldest. She took advantage. I was a baby. I love you most. But again, thank you. Well, When they gave you the Raggedy Ann doll.
understand. That's how they go into this.
You look at it with disgust and what? It was blown.
Oh,
And they started talking about. I've always been big.
Speaking very well. My mother spoke Spanish in the home so that we could learn it. And Maribel, being the youngest, spoke English. So I would talk to her in English and she would answer me in Spanish. And so, you know, I mean, my sister learned a lot of Spanish. She's very, very good. I mean, native translator. She can help you. So that's me. And I speak Spanish, don't get me wrong. I speak it very well.
Yeah, still ghetto.
No, I don't. Mis palabras muy yo cuando que la hija se me agarra. Cuando voy hablando con español y sí, como yo hablo so, you see, I don't even translate. So what happens is I speak Spanish and I speak it very well. I'm in the medical field and I do speak medical terms constantly. But after a while, the dog gets stopped and I can't speak Spanish even. So, but again, thank you, Mitch, Kenneth, coming in, my coworkers, my cousins, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, I do. I'm especially fire